first things first, how exciting is it to have three boys from the Central Coast Mariners be selected to represent the Socceroos at the upcoming World Cup?
Yeah, it's just amazing news. Firstly for the boys, secondly for the club, and for the Central Coast. It's just it's amazing news, and fantastic for everyone associated with the club. I'm really happy and proud of the boys and the whole team here for helping them achieve what is for most players, their dream to represent the country in the World Cup. So delighted, absolutely delighted for the players and for everyone associated with the Mariners.
You've been in and around the Mariners for a long time. This must rank pretty high in terms of the special things that have happened to you at this club.
Yeah, look, for sure. I mean, look, I had some really good times here. When I first came, there was a lot of success winning the championship and with a good group of boys. But I also saw as a player towards the middle stages where the club really struggled for results, struggled to develop players, and wasn't in a really good place. So to have this, as a coach, to come in as a head coach, this is my second season. To have 3 players selected for the Socceroos to go to World Cup is it's down to a lot of hard work from everyone involved in the club. The staff here are amazing. Everybody has put in so much effort to help the boys. Again, great achievement for them, number one. But I'm just really proud as head coach to be able to say that 3 of the Mariners players have been selected for the World Cup. So long may it continue.
And as you said, we've probably got the smallest budget in the league, and yet we're the first A-League club to ever have 3 current players in a World Cup squad. Does that sort of show you what this club's all about?
Yeah, look, it's an amazing statistic to be the only A-League club to ever have 3 players in a World Cup squad. Again, it's something that we have to celebrate. We have to be super proud of. We don't have a big budget. Everybody knows that. But I've got players here, and the 3 players that are going in Garang, Jason, and Vuka. They're here for the right reasons. They're here to enjoy the football and to put themselves on a stage where they've had the opportunity to play and be selected by Graham Arnold. So it's testament to them and their hard work and efforts, as well as everybody associated with the club.
And Vuka, obviously this is his first year back at the club, and he's obviously had a proud history with the club before. Can you tell me a little bit about him sort of coming back and what he's added to the group since he's been here?
Yeah, he's a fantastic person, number one. I didn't personally know him. But look, when we lost Mark Berighetti to the SPL, obviously from that moment on, I was looking for a keeper with experience, a good character, someone that could come in and help this young group. And when Vuka's name came up, I was desperate to speak to him. I managed to get in touch with him through a lot of people that know him and know myself. And as soon as I spoke to him, I could hear the passion and drive in his voice, to get back playing football. And for him to give himself every opportunity to be named in that World Cup squad. So after the initial conversation, knowing everything about the tough time he was going through, to be able to bring him back home to the club where he started at, and to give him that opportunity to perform and put his hand up for the World Cup, I think everything was there for this to be a success. But he had to, he had to give up a lot of salary. He had to, make a decision to move back with his family here, and he had no doubt. I think after I'd initially spoken to him, I had no doubt he was the best choice to come in as number one this year. And I think he's already proved that in his performances, in his personality, in everything about him. He's just a great character, and he's really felt at home since he got back here. And just for him to call me last night and give me the news, it was emotional because he gave up a lot. People don't understand, but during COVID, he gave up a lot. He left his family in Holland. He travelled to every qualifier. He was part of the group, to get the reward of going to the World Cup is I think it's just reward, and super proud of him, and just so happy for him and his family, and it's been a lifelong goal of his, just couldn't be happy for him.
And then we look at Garang, who's at the different end of their career, up and coming, and he only made his debut in the first team back in December last year in the FA Cup. And have you seen a more meteoric rise, and sort of what's he bring to this group as well, and what do you think he's going to bring to the Socceroos group?
Yeah, look, I don't really talk about it. There's been a lot of talk about Garang. You know, I see some stuff and some people send me some stuff which makes me laugh. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, Garang's story, not only Garang, his brother Alo. So Alo came, obviously playing in Shepperton in Melbourne. No A-League club touched him, too raw. I brought Alo in because I saw in him potential and I saw in his eyes the hunger and the desire that he had to be a footballer. And we brought him in, he was very raw. And within 12 months, he was top scorer in the A-League. And the club sold him to Stuttgart. He's now in Germany. He's now part of the young Socceroos. I'm sure he's going to go on to have a great career. But look, you know, it was actually Alo that told us he had a younger brother called Garang. We should bring him in and have a look at him. And yeah, I didn't hesitate. Again, you know, wasn't picked up by any of the clubs in Melbourne. But we brought him in and straight away, myself and Sergio, my assistant, the kid was very raw, big potential, but didn't understand football, you know, didn't understand how to play in a team. He had individual skills, but other than that, didn't know how to defend. Very, very, very raw, but again, saw the hunger and desire in him. And he had the willingness to learn the game, to work hard and improve the things that he needs to improve. And he came as a 16-year-old boy playing under 18s, and we quickly moved him into the 20s, into the first grade. And from there, we brought him into the first team environment at the start of last season on a scholarship due to a benefactor in Anton Tagliaferro, who actually helps the club with scholarships. And that gave us the opportunity to bring him in, to train him with the first team and accelerate his development, but not only football-wise, you know, personality-wise, and work with him as an individual, you know, with the staff here, with the sports psychologist, Ezio, with the nutrition, with the S&C, you know, with Andy Burnell working with him on the athletic side. And again, you know, the coaching side of it, myself and Sergio, working with him on his tactical knowledge and game understanding, which is something that he lacked. And yeah, the rise has been fantastic. And, you know, to do what he did against Barcelona, the New Zealand in the Socceroos, and he does it in the A-League. I don't think there's a player like him in Australia that can come on and affect a game the way he does. And the next step for him is, yes, to start games and to grow, but he's still young. He's going to be going to Newcastle United, who are going to loan him out. And yeah, we'll follow him with an open heart. We've still got him now until January, so we'll enjoy having him until then. But for him to, again, be going to the World Cup, I think he deserves it. I think he's earned it. And I think his performances have shown everybody that, you know, you can bring this kid off against the best players in the world, like he did against Barcelona, and have the same impact. So whether it's A-League, international, or in a friendly against one of the best teams in the world, he's performed and he's talked the talk. He hasn't just done it once, he's done it numerous times, and all credit to Graham Arnold for having that belief in him. And yeah, I can't wait to see him there, and hopefully he gets some opportunity. And yeah, we're super proud of him, and yeah, we just can't wait for him to go.
And last but certainly not least, Jason Cummings making the squad as well. How proud are you of him? And just tell me a little bit about the story of him coming to a club like the Central Coast.
I think Jason's is an amazing story. I really do. I think it's a amazing story. I think, you know, we're talking about a player here that has played for Rangers, one of the biggest clubs in Scotland. Not easy. He's played for Nottingham Forest, who are now in the Premier League. But, you know, some poor life choices. He found himself on the bench at Dundee in the SPL, not playing, not happy. A coach that didn't believe in him. And at the time, we only had Maresh and Marcos Llorena as two strikers. I'd left some money in the budget, not a lot, in January to try and bring someone in to strengthen. And yeah, on the scouting, I'd spoken to people. Jason's name came up, not only as a non-visa with him being Australian citizenship, but looking into him, myself and Sergio on the scouting team, within 2 minutes of footage, we knew that we had to try and bring Jason in because massive talent, you know, again, scoring goals against Liverpool, top level, unbelievable left foot, magical player. And yeah, if I was to listen to advice of other people, I wouldn't have signed Jason, you know, because unfortunately now I think social media is rife, and he did a few things in Scotland where the media were hounding him, and he did a few mistakes that unfortunately went against his character and the person he is. And once I'd spoken to some good people that I know, which I do every player to get a reference, the feedback was unbelievable talent, fallen by the wayside a little bit, misunderstood, but exceptional player. If you can get the best out of him, you'll have a top level world-class striker. And I spoke to Jason, and I knew straight away, just a great personality. You know, didn't want him to change, but I gave him the opportunity, and I said, you know, you have to bite the bullet. Come over to the A-League. It's a very good league. You know, you're a non-visa player. You can play, get a smile back on your face. I'll make you enjoy football, but come and give me everything you've got. Stop with the silly stuff. You know, that he did, that I find funny, swinging off a chandelier and, you know, some silly things. But again, unfortunately, these days, social media captures everything. And Jason bought into it. You know, I tried to get him at the start of the year. It didn't happen. Dundee wouldn't let him go. But come January, he wasn't playing. He wasn't happy. And I spoke to his agent again. I kept in touch with him. And I did everything I could to make it happen. And at the time, you know, it was, I think, the signing of the A-League season last year to bring Jason in. I think he scored 10 goals and 10 assists in 20 appearances. And that was, yeah, phenomenal for a player that everybody now talks about. And, you know, again, didn't just come in and talk. Jason comes in, he's a big character, but he delivers on the pitch. He's a special player. He really is. You know, he's a real team player. And yeah, just like Garang being inspirational, I think Jason is inspirational. And there's a lot of players out there that have possibly fallen by the wayside and at a club where maybe the coaches and the manager doesn't believe in him. But when you actually get to know him as a person, the boys absolutely love him here. The fans in Australia love him. I think every opposition player and manager love him. And he's really found his home here. And by doing that, his performances on the pitch have been phenomenal. You know, he's a goal scorer, he's a creator. I think he's something different than what the Socceroos have. And again, crediting Graham Arnold for seeing that. I think Jason can change your game. If you want a big player for big moments, that's Jason. But, you know, don't take away his work rate, his attitude, you know, his leadership. We've got a young team, and he's been inspirational for us. And just, yeah, super proud of him. And I know how proud of him his family is and everybody that's known Jason, because he's worked hard for this, and he's still got, you know, he's 26, I think, 27. He's still got a long time left. So for the Socceroos, I think it's a fantastic addition to the national team here, and a player that can play for the next 5, 6, 7 years and make a household name in Australia. So yeah, really proud of Jason, and yeah, everybody's super happy for all three of the players.
And this weekend, we're sending off the Socceroos. We've got our final game before the World Cup break. You're hoping for, you know, a really massive crowd to be able to. We're in form as it is, plus sending off these boys as a recipe for hopefully a magic home crowd.
Yeah, look, any fans out there, I'd love to get everybody down to the stadium this weekend. We've got one of the most beautiful stadiums in the world, if not the country. And the boys are on form. We've had 2 good results. MacArthur are a good team. They're coming. You know, we can get as many people down as we can, you know, to get behind and support us. Looking for another victory before we go on this World Cup break. But also, you know, it's a long time since this player's had any players in a national team. We've got them in the youth system at the minute, national teams. We've got 3 players going to the World Cup. So it'd be awesome to get as many fans down as possible to come and give these boys a send-off, but also to get behind the team and really push us on for 3 points, because the support we had against Wanderers, the away support last weekend, was phenomenal, and the boys really appreciated it, and everybody could hear them throughout the 90 minutes, and even at the end, just to see the celebrations was fantastic. So yeah, big shout out to everyone. Thanks for your support. Come down, support these heroes, and let's give them a good send off before they go to the World Cup.